Get Ready With Me chat is sponsored by BetterHelp. Thank you so much, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get into it. Starting off with some DIY rose water. We love it. Y'all, I turn 28 this year, and it feels like I'm turning 28 this year. I have been like around the block and back. Truly. And I love talking about it. I love sharing some knowledge, sharing some advice. So that's what we're doing today. Why not? This is my jade roller, by the way, that I keep in the freezer just to help depuff my face a little bit. I have my Ilia lip mask. As some of you know, when I was 19 years old, I moved to Los Angeles. And like basically from that point forward, I've been like living. I have been living life. Every single decision I ever made from 19 on, I thought I was like, yes, Los Angeles is forever. I'm gonna party all day, all night. I was like, I don't need relationship. I don't need to keep an eye on my bank account. I'll just spend whatever I want to spend. So many points in my life, I thought I was making the best choices for me, and it was fun. But now that I can reflect on it, I'm like, Hannah, what were you doing? Today I'm mixing Lychee Pink by Lunar Tides with Manic Panics After Midnight. First things first, we're talking about making friends as an adult. It is hard out here, okay? It really is. And this is also hard to... Oh, I got some on my pants already. I have been through a handful of not very good friendships in my adult life. Unfortunately, that just happens. It just happens. How I think I've messed up making friends in the past, okay, was I was making friends, you know, through other friends, which is fine. But I was making a lot of friends from like going out and partying, and that's not something that is that important to me, you know, not long term. So I ended up meeting people that I didn't really have a lot in common with. So what I started to do recently, that I wish I did a long time ago, is I thought about what are some things that are most important to me in life, which would be, first off, that I'm vegan. I live a vegan lifestyle. So joining a vegan Facebook group on Facebook for Philadelphia, I ended up making some really nice, amazing friends through that. With me coming out 2 years ago, I did notice that there was a Philly group of gay girls. And although a lot of the events are like going out and like dancing and stuff, I ended up making a lot of great friends through that as well. I wish I did this a long time ago. Of course, I wasn't out a long time ago, and I wasn't always vegan, but find the things that you care about, even like through hobbies. And there are groups online for that you can find locally. Just keep an eye out and just start showing up to things. Be open to making friends because you will find the right people when you're in the right places. That's on that. I think that goes for relationships as well, which segues to the next portion of this video. I'm a little worried about this. This is looking a little too purple. And if y'all know what happens when you mix purple and orange is they cancel out. So I'm afraid that if I put this on my head, my hair is just gonna turn like brown, and I don't really want that. So I think I need to reassess this situation. The final mixture is I'm using the purple I just accidentally created and Lime Crime's unicorn hair right here. It happens. Trial and error, y'all. Is that not what adulting is anyway? Is it not? Adulting is messing up and then recognizing, admitting faults, and correcting for the future. That's what it is, y'all. That's what it is. I don't think the peach was really my style anyway. Something that I do think was very smart, I did when I was young, in my young 20s, is that I really waited to have serious relationships with people. I think a huge part of that was that I knew at the end of the day where I was living in Los Angeles is not where I was going to be living forever. So a part of me felt like it wouldn't be fair necessarily to myself or the people I date to expect expect to like go into a relationship expecting that at the end of the day they would be down to completely move across the country, like closer to where my family is, where I wanted to be eventually. So that I think was very smart in a roundabout way, was that the things I knew I needed in the future were things I already like was kind of implementing in my dating life. Since then, moving to the East Coast, I've started to take dating a lot more seriously, and turns out, as opposed to what I thought when I was younger, I am a lover girl. I am a relationshipper. I don't know why I thought maybe I wouldn't be. This advice, y'all, take this and run with it, please, okay? You could do this while you're in a relationship or even when you're not, but you should make a list of your non-negotiables. Like, genuinely write it down. Write down your non-negotiables. Write down, like, what is important to you that a partner has that you know works for you already. Either you figured that out through friendships or through failed relationships or successful ones. I do really want to make sure that the person I date in the future is either in therapy or has a really good concept of, or a really good relationship with therapy in general. In the last 2 years, I cannot tell you how much therapy has helped me personally. I think I was not a very good communicator at all. Like at all. Now I still have struggles, but it is so much easier. I just feel a lot more confident in myself and the people around me and the relationships I hold because of the tools I learned through therapy. Which is why this is kind of the perfect video to let y'all know about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easy, and it is far less intimidating. BetterHelp lets you have therapy sessions, either a phone call, video chat, messaging, whatever is the most comfortable version of therapy for you. BetterHelp can match you to one of over 30,000 therapists in their network based on your needs, preference, and location, which gives you access to a wider range of expertise than may be available in your city. To get started, you fill out a questionnaire that will ask you questions about what challenges you're going through and what kind of therapist you'd like, and then BetterHelp can match you with a therapist to help you. You'll be matched with a therapist in most cases within 48 hours. That's crazy. You can schedule therapy sessions at a time that's convenient for you, and if you feel like your therapist isn't a great fit, you can switch therapists with the click of a button in your settings at no additional cost. Click the link below and you can join over 4 million people who've used BetterHelp to start living a healthier, happier life. Clicking the link below helps support this channel, and it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, so you can connect with a therapist and see if it helps you. I am telling y'all, I do not know where I would be without my therapist, truly. I started with my therapist about 2 years ago, I think, so a couple months before I came out, and I felt like during that time I was just throwing my relationship away for no reason. Like, I just did not know how to communicate my needs or my wants, and I didn't know how to figure out what I needed or wanted. I have learned and I've seen that I can get a little lost when I'm in relationships. I really center my life around the person I'm dating, which is fun until it's not fun anymore. And it does put me in a place where someone can really take advantage of me, unfortunately. If y'all have been following me for the last couple months since my last breakup, then you would know that I am doing a lot. I'm doing a lot right now to really discover who I am and really hope and stay true to myself when I do decide to date intentionally again. But so far, I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I'm feeling pretty good about this. First, I'm using Tula's antioxidant water. My therapist has seen a lot, okay? I even had my therapist through the start of my career change, right? So I've been doing social media for 7 years now. I decided to put myself through school 2 years ago when I was, 26? Is that mathin'? And it was a lot, you know, working for myself full-time, being in charge of my own schedule, and also being a full-time student was so much, y'all. It was so much. This is Shea Moisture's Curl In Style Milk. Something that I've started centering in my adult life is keeping my young self in mind. So in regards to careers and money, I am definitely very privileged to have the job that I have in creating content for people all around the world. This job is a lot of fun. And I get to do a lot of things I want to do by working for myself. This book I read a long time ago explained that if you can't do what you want to do and what you need for your mental health while you're working, like I get to do a lot of the time, then you want to make sure that in your off time, you are doing everything you can for your mental health. And if you're not able to do that, genuinely, maybe start looking to find a different job then. Right? Say if you don't get a lot of vacation days at all, but you also don't really have downtime like on your weekends either because you're so stressed out or you have too much to do in your personal time, like taking care of your apartment, taking care of your pets, going to appointments. I don't think this world was made with a lot of us in mind with the work schedules that people have. Do your best to take time off. Take time for you. You need it. You deserve it. And speaking of investing time, I would say this also goes for myself and my space. You don't need all the money in the world. You just need the energy, I'm not gonna lie, to put into self-care and care for the space that you keep around you. Oh, sorry. This is Tula's Brightening Treatment Drops. I've always used my hair, my clothes, my makeup as self-expression. My style definitely changes pretty often, but something that stayed pretty consistent is my home space for a really long time. It wasn't until recently that I really like mixed it up and started putting all of my favorite things around me. I kept it pretty plain for most of my 20s. Yeah. I think part of that is due to, you know, my job requiring me to have like a certain aesthetic or like look around me. This is Tula's Probiotic and Superfoods Mineral Magic. I didn't know how much more my space could feel like me until I started mixing it up and putting my favorite things around. Like doing this little gallery wall, that was a move. Keeping a space that really feels like me really helps me be able to decompress. That's something I wish I did sooner, but you know, all comes in due time. This is Milk's Sculpt Stick. Now, for some of you, location might matter more than your actual like living space. I definitely had roommates who decided to go with location versus having like a 1-bedroom, you know? So decide what's important to you. Low Wish is Karen Coral Blush. As for myself, when it comes to like styling my clothes or figuring out like how I want to dye my hair next, like my next haircut or whatever style I feel like having in that moment, because I've had a lot of different styles. Definitely pull a lot of inspiration from friends and different people online. Style and really life in general is pretty fluid, okay? No one stays the same forever in many different ways, right? So just go with the flow. Like look at yourself in the mirror and say like, do I actually like this? Does this really feel like me? Oh, I'm sorry. This was the Wet n Wild eyebrow pencil. And this is the e.l.f. Lash and Roll mascara. This life is way too short not to look exactly how you want to look and be exactly who you want to be and do exactly what you want to do. Yeah. Anastasia's Clear Brow Gel. For a really long time, I was worried about like, what if I'm wasting my life? I feel like people have this thought all the time, like no matter what age, but you're like, what if I'm investing all my time and energy into something that doesn't actually matter at the end of the day? But you know what? It matters to you right now. So it matters. Right? Lottie London's lip gloss. Okay, how do we feel? How do we look? I think my hair needs some more work, so I'm going to use some of my Kenra Working Wax. Everything changes all the time. That's just life. We just gotta roll with it. I think I decided at a certain point that life is really just about, like, living. Life is really about living, and yeah. It's about living and like discovering yourself and like living for you. And that's something I definitely didn't do for a long time. You know what I love thinking about? I just love thinking that in like 10 years, I'm gonna look back on this and be like, wow, I've learned so much more since then. That's just life, and I know future me is so proud of me for doing exactly what I want to do and living life in whatever way that makes me happy right now. Y'all, make sure to click the link down below for 10% off your first month's worth of therapy from our sponsor, BetterHelp. And you can join one of 4 million people who have found a therapist on BetterHelp and started living a healthier, happier life. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!